Okay, try to keep giving you options of ways to make things easier. I like to try to make things simple, and some of the suggestions that I've talked about before is MyFitnessPal, which I think is a very simple, easy to use calorie tracker to make sure that you're at a calorie deficit, and Argus, which is an activity tracker to make sure that you're expending energy. So if you haven't tried those, check them out. They're two great apps. They're going to help you start getting along the lines that you need to as far as your calorie expenditure and how much you're eating. So this is another tool that you can use. It is myplate, and if you check out myplate.org, it's something that the government kind of put together based on the 5 food groups. It is something that's going to be very useful for you, and it's a quick visual aid to look at. And if you are eating all 5 food groups and you're getting a varied diet, then this is a great tool to use, and you can just look at your plate and see if you're getting the correct portions of those 5 food groups. Now, you can see on here it's got fruits, vegetables, protein, and grains, and then it has a little bit of dairy up there. So if you structure your meals this way, it's going to be beneficial for you. It's different than just having like a huge bowl of ice cream or a bunch of fruits, because you're going to get a lot of sugar with that. You want to have other things included. And it's also going to be set up with healthy foods like the ones we were talking about around the perimeter of the store. So you're not going to find a lot of cookies, cereal, and things like that. Those aren't included on here. They're not shown because this is for basic food groups, healthy food options. Now, the only thing that I would kind of change on this is normally I wouldn't recommend that many grains, because usually people eat bread for their grains, and by doing that they're going to get a lot of carbs. I would probably do more vegetables. I actually think this might be better if it were just all vegetables on one side and half protein, or half protein on the other side, and then fruits or grains, whichever one you would rather have. And then if you don't want to have the protein like meat, then you would substitute dairy. So I would break it up a little more. I wouldn't utilize all 5 on every meal. I usually only utilize 3. So mine might be all vegetables with some Greek yogurt, and then some fruit, or chicken, broccoli, and then some yogurt or some fruit and things like that. So mine are usually just either vegetables and protein or grains and protein. So it'd be like salmon and rice. I don't usually incorporate all 5 in each meal. Try to make sure that I get carbs, protein, and healthy fats. So I kind of like it more based on that. So, you know, the protein and fat would be nuts, and then some type of carbs for me. But I think this is a great visual aid for someone who's just trying to get basic with their food and make sure that they're eating healthy. And if you look at some different things, like say we were eating at Wendy's, and we got a Wendy's meal, and you just take all of that food and lay it out on your plate, you would see that there's not going to be very many vegetables on it. It's just going to be like the tomato, the lettuce, and a couple things in that meal that's going to fill up vegetables. Nowhere near the amount that would need to be on it in order to fill your plate up. And then the protein isn't going to make up a very big portion, but there's going to be a ton of grains in the fries if you got a meal, and the bread. So it's not broken up anywhere near what it should be for this plate. Same for a Subway sub. It's healthy, it's going to have some healthy options there, but if you look at it, it's going to have a lot more grains, a lot more bread than would broken up the way that it should be on this plate. So that's where you could maybe get a salad, or get a half of a sub, or some different thing like that in order to break your portion up to make it look more like this plate. But I thought this is a quick, easy visual guide that people can utilize in order to make sure that their food portions are better and they're getting the nutrients that they need. So, you know, utilize it however you can, and hopefully it'll be beneficial for you.